Very good morning, my dear students. Myself, Vijayashree Chavan. Hope you remember me. Yes, good. So, we are dealt with chapter number 2, that is biological classification, and then chapter number 3, that is plant kingdom. It has been started by Amruta Sane madam. So, you are studying that. And now, side by side, I am going to start chapter number 4, that is animal kingdom. So, in this chapter, we are going to study the classification of the animals, on what basis the animals are classified, and the phylums into which they are classified. So total 11 phylums are there. Depending on some characteristics, animals are classified into 11 phylums. So all those phylums we are going to study in detail. So weightage of this chapter is 7 marks. So from this chapter in the exam you will get 7 marks question. So important topic it is to listen carefully. So we'll start now. Animals are multicellular and heterotrophic organisms. Heterotrophic means they depend on the other organisms for their food purpose. Then in the animals you'll cell wall is absent. The lack of cell wall is there, and the chlorophyll is also absent. So these are the main characteristics of animals. Next, we are going to study the basis of classification. Depending on some basis, the animals are classified into different phylums. So which are those characteristics? Number 1, levels of organization. Number 2, body symmetry. 3, germ layers. 4, coelom. 5, metamerism. And 6, notochord. So first we'll study number 1, levels of organization. So based on organization of these cells, there are 3 levels of organization. So dear students, you know that all the living organisms are made up of cells. Cells are nothing but peshi. You have studied that. So the cells are the basic building blocks of all the living organisms. The cells come together, then they form the tissue. Then many different tissues come together, then they form the organs. For example, any organ, the stomach, liver, like this. Okay. And many organs, they come together and they form the system. For example, the digestive system. Digestive system consists of mouth is one organ, then esophagus is there, stomach is there, small intestine, large intestine. So all these are the organs. They are coming together and forming the system. And many different systems come together to form the animal. Digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, circulatory system, all such different systems will come together and they form the animal. So that is the base. First, that is level of organization. So here first one, cellular level of organization. As I told, cells are arranged as loose cells aggregate. So cells are loosely arranged to form the animal. So that is called as cellular level of organization. For example, sponges. Number 2, tissue level of organization. Cells are aggregated into tissue. For example, coelentrates and ctenophores. And number 3, organ level of organization. Tissues are arranged into organs, and the organs are associated to form the organ systems. Okay, so whatever this organ system is there, each performs a specific function. For example, in the all higher organisms, for you can take the human beings also. So these are the 3 levels of organization. So these organ systems show in different animals, they show complexities. For example, the digestive system. Digestive system, it is of 2 types. Incomplete digestive system and complete digestive system. Incomplete means only a single opening functioning as mouth and anus. Only one opening will be there in that animal, which serves as mouth also as well as the anus also. From the same opening they are taking the food inside, and digestive waste is thrown out of the body through the same opening. So only one opening is there which is functioning as mouth and anus. So that is called as incomplete digestive system. And second one, complete digestive system. Complete means what? It has two openings, mouth and anus. Mouth for taking the food inside and anus for removing the digestive waste material. Clear? Similarly, circulatory system. Circulatory system, it is also of two types, that is open and closed type of circulatory system. Open type means the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and tissues are directly bathed in it. So from the heart directly the blood is falling down on the cells and tissues. That is called as open type of circulatory system. And second one, closed type of circulatory system. The blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameter. So blood is flowing through the vessels. Okay, so blood vessels are there. Through that blood vessels the blood is flowing and going to the different cells and tissues. So that is called as closed type of circulatory system. Now the second point, that is body symmetry. Body symmetry means what? It is the arrangement of similar body parts on the two sides of the body. So that is called as symmetry. So depending on this symmetry, animals are of two types. Number one, asymmetrical, and number two, symmetrical. First one, symmetrical means what? Asymmetrical. First one, body cannot be divided into two similar parts. When you divide the body of organism, you will not get the equal parts, you will not get the similar parts. So it is called as asymmetrical. For example, sponges or the snails. And number two, symmetrical. Body can be divided into two similar parts. Okay, when you cut the body into two parts of any animal, you will get the two similar parts. Then that organism is called as the symmetrical organism. Now, when the animal is symmetrical, then symmetry is also of two types, radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry means body can be divided into two similar parts by any plane along the oral aboral axis of the body. When you cut the animal in any plane, in these diagrams you can see, in any plane you can cut the animal into two parts, then you will get the two similar parts in any plane. So that is called as radial symmetry. For example, some sponges are there and the coelentrates and echinoderms. So the first diagram you can see, that is the coelentrate, and the below one last diagram, that is the echinoderm. So in any plane if you cut the animal, you will get the two equal parts. So that is called as radial symmetry. The second one, that is the bilateral symmetry. Body can be divided into two right and left halves by a section passing through the longitudinal axis. For example, vertebrates and many invertebrates. So here when you cut the animal into two parts, that is right part and left part, left half. Okay, here the section should be passing through a longitudinal axis. So here in the diagram you can see, if you are cutting in the longitudinal axis, then only you will get the two equal parts. For example, human beings also, longitudinally from head to leg, straight, if we cut the body parts into two, then it is the bilateral symmetry, two equal halves we will get, but only in one plane. So that is called as the bilateral symmetry. Third point, that is germ layers. So germ layers, these are the layers of the embryo. From these layers, the different organs of the organisms are going to form. So how many germ layers are there? Depending on the number of germ layers, animals are of two types, diploblastic and triploblastic. Number one, diploblastic animals. So these are important for 1 mark questions. Diploblastic animals. So here diplo, the name only indicates, diplo means two, di means two. So diploblastic animals, two germ layers. Outer one is called as ectoderm and inner one is called as endoderm. So in the diagram you can see the ectoderm, which is purple color, and the endoderm, which is inner, that is blackish color. So outer one is ectoderm and inner one is endoderm. So when these two layers are present, then it is called as the diploblastic animals. So in between the endoderm and mesoderm, you will see the yellow color layer is there. So it is nothing but it is called as the mesoglia. It is a it is jelly like substance will be there, which is filled here, that is called as the mesoglia. So ectoderm, endoderm, and the between layer is called as mesoglia. Then second one, that is triploblastic animals. So as the name indicates, tri means three. So three germ layers are there. Outer one is called as, in the second diagram you can see, outer one is called as the ectoderm. Yes. Then the middle one, the reddish one you can see, that is the mesoderm. Here you can see cellular, so it is a layer. So but in the first one cells are not there. It is a filled with jelly like substance, so that is mesoglia. But here it is cellular level, so it is cells are present, so it is called as layer. The middle one is called as what? Mesoderm. And the inner one, as usual, that is endoderm. So ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, three layers are there. For example, the flatworms to mammals, all these are triploblastic. So depending on the germ layers, two types of animals are there, triploblastic animals. Fourth point, coelom. Coelom is nothing but the body cavity. So it is the space between the body wall and gut wall. What is coelom? It is the space between the body wall, that is the outer body wall, and the gut wall. Gut wall is nothing but the wall of the digestive system. In between the digestive system and the body wall, space is there. That is called as the coelom. So on the basis of nature of coelom, what type of coelom is present? Depending on that, three types of animals are there: acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, and eucoelomate. So number one, that is acoelomate. Acoelomate means what? A means absent. So coelom is absent, no coelom. The space between body wall and digestive system is filled with matrix. So it is called as the acoelomate. So here you can see in the diagram the acoelomate. The space between body wall and the digestive cavity is filled with the matrix. That is called as acoelomate. Next one, that is pseudocoelomate. Pseudo means false. Coelom is false coelom. So here blastocele becomes the coelom. It is not lined by the peritoneal layer. So here you can see in the second diagram, the coelom always it is lined by the mesoderm. But here it is not lined by the mesoderm. Instead of the whatever the mesoderm is there, it is forming the pouch like structure, a rounded structures you can see. So it is a false coelom. So it is called as the pseudocoelomate. The mesoderm is forming the pouch like structure. And the third one, that is eucoelomate. Eucoelomate, eu means true. Eucoelomate, that is true coelomates. Here the coelom in animals except the roundworms arises from the mesoderm, and coelom is lined by the peritoneal layer and filled with coelomic fluid. So here the animals, the body cavity which is lined by mesoderm is called as the coelom. The true coelom will be there. So here from annelids to mammals, all the animals they comes into the coelomates. So this is also important. What are coelomates? Pseudocoelomates is present in which phylum? So all these questions are important for 1 marks. Once again I'll repeat the coeloms. First one, that is acoelomate. For the acoelomate you can see the diagram number C, the below one. That is the diagram for acoelomate. Little bit mistake is here. So last diagram C, it is for the acoelomate. So no coelom is there. Okay, the black color whatever is there, that is the endoderm, and the purple color is ectoderm. So in between that you will not find any cavity. So it is acoelomate. Then B, that is pseudocoelomate. The diagram is clear, that is B. Second diagram. So here whatever the mesoderm is there, it is forming the pouch like structure. So it is a false coelom. So it is called as pseudocoelomate. So pseudocoelomate is present in the roundworms. So that you have to remember. Then the third one, eucoelomate. And for eucoelomate you have to refer the diagram number first, A. So here the coelom is present. A true coelom is present. You can see the ectoderm is there and endoderm. The middle one is endoderm, that black color. So in between the ectoderm and endoderm you will find the true or clear coelom you can see there. True cavity is there. So it is U means present. The coelom is present. True coelom is present. So that is coelomate. Clear? So these are the three types: acoelomate, pseudocoelomate and the eucoelomate. Fifth point, metamerism. It is nothing but segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into the segments with a series of repeated organs. Externally and internally the body is divided into the segments, and each segment is called as the metamere. METAMERE, metamere. So it is important one. What is metamere? 1 mark question. So in some animals, body is externally and internally divided into segments, and each segment is referred as the metamere. And this phenomenon is called as the metamerism. So in which animals you will find the segmentation? For example, annelids and arthropods. So here you can see the earthworm is there in the first diagram. So in earthworm you will find the segments. Body is divided, you can see. Or the next diagram, it is the centipede is there. So here also you can find the body is divided into the segment. So each segment is called as what? Metamere. And it is called as metameric segmentation. And the phenomenon is called as metamerism. Important one. Okay. So this you have to remember. Earthworm and the centipede. Examples are there. So that is called as the segmentation. 1 mark question, important. What is metamere? The sixth point, that is notochord. So what is notochord? It is a supporting rod formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. So here in the diagram you can see a rod like structure which is present in the animals, that is called as the notochord. So the animals with the notochord are called as chordates. Important one. Animals with the notochord are called as chordates, and those without notochord are called as non-chordates. Notochord is nothing but the backbone, Paticha kana. Clear? So animals with notochord are called as chordates, Prushtabhaushiya, and those without notochord are called as the non-chordates, Aprushtabhaushiya. So it is important one. Okay. So in chordates, example, the all chordates will come. And in non-chordates, all from porifera to echinodermata. The classification of animals. So here you can see kingdom Animalia is mainly divided into two parts, non-chordata and chordata. Non-chordata means without notochord, without backbone, and chordata means they have the notochord or the backbone. Now in the non-chordata, you will find total 10 phylums are there. Phyla, it is plural. So total 10 phylums are there. Which are those? Phylum Porifera. So here sponges are included. Then phylum Nidaria. It is here all the jellyfishes are there. Phylum Ctenophora. All the comb jellies. Then phylum Platyhelminthes. That is, platy means flat, helminths means worm, flat worms are there. Then phylum Aschelminthes. Aschel means round, helminths means worms. So round worms will be there. Then phylum Annelida, ringed worms. So body is segmented. So that is called as ringed worms. That is Annelida. Then phylum Arthropoda, Arthro means jointed. Poda means legs. Jointed legs will be there. All the insects and all. So it is phylum Arthropoda. Then phylum Mollusca. Mollusca means soft bodied animals. For example, the pila or the snails. Okay. Then phylum Echinodermata. Echino means the spiny. Dermata means skin. Spiny skins. For example, starfish. So these are 10 phylums and 9 phylums, and 10th one Hemichordata. Hemi means partly, chordata means notochord. So very little notochord will be present at the head region. So it is Hemichordata. So all these 10 phylums will come under the non-chordates, and the 11th phylum, that is which is coming under the chordata, that is phylum Chordata. This phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphylums: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Which are those? Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Here in this chart you can see the general classification of the kingdom Animalia depending on the basis of classification. So which are the bases we have studied? Levels of organization, germ layers, symmetry, coelom. So depending on all these characteristics, how the phylums are made. So here you can see Porifera is there in the last column. Porifera, Cnidaria and Ctenophora. If you see Porifera, coelom, which is the coelom? Acoelomate. Then symmetry, if you see asymmetrical, that is radial symmetry you can see. Germ layers, it is diploblastic, and if level of organization, it is cellular level. Then the second, Cnidaria and Ctenophora, both you will find acoelomate, radial symmetry, diploblastic and tissue level of organization. Then rest all phylums. Next one, that is Platyhelminthes. You will see the acoelomate. From the Platyhelminthes you can see the organ or organ system level of organization is there. All are triploblastic, all are bilaterally symmetrical, and then only difference is there in the coeloms. In Platyhelminthes you will find acoelomate. Important one, which are the animals are acoelomate? Platyhelminthes. Clear? Then Aschelminthes, only one Aschelminthes phylum is there, which is you will find the pseudocoelomate. Only Aschelminthes is pseudocoelomate. Then rest all from Annelida up to Chordata, that is Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. All these are true coelomates. So it is coelomates, and rest all characters are same: bilateral, triploblastic and organ system level of organization. So if you remember this chart, it will be easy for you to remember the characteristics, important characteristics. So at least 4 to 5 characteristics you can write easily if you remember this chart. So after this we are going to study one by one phylum in detail. So from my next lecture we will start with that. So enough for today, and thank you dear students. Bye.